right, y'all, this is an exciting one today, but also kind of sad. We are wrapping up with Ren Money Game Part 3. So this series is slowly coming to a close, and I am really sad about it. It has been so exciting to listen to parts 1 and 2, and how much truth he gave us and how much content he gave us. I don't know what to expect for Part 3, but what I do know is I'm so sad because I loved parts 1 and 2. We talked really in detail about the things that he talked about. And if you guys haven't watched it, go ahead and watch my previous videos on this. But part 3, I mean, I don't want it to end. Like, where's part 4, 5, and 6, you know? Like, it's so sad. But I'm excited. I absolutely love Ren. And I think, you know, I don't know where I would be if I didn't listen to him, because like the stuff that he talks about is the stuff we love to discuss here on this channel. Thought-provoking music, and we love that. And there's only a few artists out there that do that. All right. All right. Part 3, Money Game, sad. Let's wrap this up. I like the hauntingness of it. Oh, I'm dizzy. First of all, whoever's playing the piano, if that's Ren, to do that like covered with maybe mesh, if he can even see through that, that's amazing talent right there. I was like a cat with the lasers watching him play the piano. Crazy. He's wearing the suit this time. Wonder if that has meaning. That was him? That's crazy. Playing piano? That's crazy.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 20.
If you manipulate the data, the lie will sell itself. Oh my goodness. The thing about Ren is when I listen to him, the story unfolds in my head. He just gave away this kid's life story within seconds, and it painted such a vivid picture in my mind. Wow, that line right there, it is so true. You can manipulate anything to appear how you want it to sell a lie. Because, you know, I mean, it's just that easy, right? I mean, we're going to deep dive truly into the end because I don't want to interrupt too much. But that line right there, whew, brutal, brutal.
3, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race, you're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it, blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. 35, he gets a call. I'm sorry son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed up, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck. Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41, he wasn't walking. 42, not walking quickly. 43, never running round the pavements of his city. 44, inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the
I have actual goosebumps. Actual goosebumps. That way it come full circle in his storytelling is so powerful. And the violins and the cellos coming in, my goodness. Wow. Trading, oh my god. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to remember all this. Don't worry, guys. At the end, we are going to get through this. But this is like a beautiful masterpiece. And in that moment that it was like so quiet, I felt like my breathing was too loud. Like I didn't even want to make a sound. Oh my god, this is amazing.
Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him. And it's a version of she. And it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension.
Yeah.
It leads to people killing each other. My solution...
Where's he gonna point that gun?
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains.
Yep.
But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and
Yep.
put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me,
Yep.
then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consume till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
Wait. Whoa. It's over? It can't be. We just started that. How did 9 minutes just go by? It's really been 9 minutes? I don't buy that. Okay. That was so powerful. We're going to get into it. We are going to get into this. First, I want to say, okay, so the suits, let's start from the beginning. The suits did have purpose. So he did grow up with a silver spoon in his mouth. He's rich, right? I want to preface this by saying this. Money in this world, it can solve a lot of problems, right? But it also creates complex issues within the people that have it. And as they say, more money, more problems. Okay? So Jimmy here, born, silver spoon in his mouth, his parents pushing him. Basically, you grow up, you have it cultivated in your mind that money is power. Money can give you everything that you want. Okay, we're going to pause that there. So he gets older, he's like a genius, but he uses his brain, right, for evil ways, as many people with money out there do. Everybody is a prophet. Trade money for souls. When he said that, it was very powerful. I think that was one of the most powerful lines right there. Also with just, they use it with the money, and the whole gimme aspect is true. They're rich are greedy. It's never enough for them. There's a threshold and they keep pushing it to gain more money because their hand's always in the cookie jar. They don't want anyone else to have a cookie, that it has to belong to them. And what they're going to do with this money is never to help people. And as Ren said, we could live in a utopian society, but people don't know how to use their brains because greed is what drives it. And then the blood money comes in, right? He uses it. You start the wars with the money. Then you fund the wars because people's lives are dollar signs. They fund the war. They create the war. They provide a solution for the war. All comes with a price tag to put money in the pockets to those who have so much of it already. Wow. And his life to end because Jimmy here, right, gets shot. And all of that money aspect of your life, and look what he has. He has the Lamborghinis, he has the fame, he has the fortune. He has no soul. There is no life behind those eyes. There is no life where money can really solve it. So yes, there are aspects that money can solve, but like Ren said, why do we value this piece of paper more than the truth? We have forfeited the truth for an idea. And that idea is money, because money was an idea. We didn't just create money. People back in the day used to barter, trade. I feel like that's the way our society should be lived, is we should be trading. We shouldn't have this dollar that controls everything, but it does. So people like Jimmy do exist. But what does people like Jimmy have? Truly nothing behind the scenes. And yet everyone, and I'm not going to say everyone, there are people that seek fame and fortune. But when you seek that, you're trading in essentially your soul. You're trading in everything else about you in your life that you have just for this piece of paper. And it's very profound because this is real life. And I want to touch upon the part where he talked about the schools teaching you to be sheep. We could learn any sort of life skills in school, but we don't. We are manufactured people. That's what we are. You go to school, you become manufactured. Okay? You go in to learn to be a sheep. You are only given a sliver of what they want you to know so that your brain is only comprehending what it is that they tell you to comprehend. So what does that teach you? It doesn't teach you to have an open mind. It doesn't teach you to question the status quo, and it sets you up to be a cog in the machine, a workhorse, because in this world we value the dollar over everything else. So therefore we work for this money that's going to get us just shelter over our heads, that's going to buy us food at the grocery store. We are not made to question anything. Our paradigm on how we see the world is literally cultivated by the process of growing up in our parasitic society, as Ren so nicely put it. That is how it works. And it's very sad because those that now, I feel like now we're questioning the status quo. Now we're sort of creating a new paradigm because we are questioning those and the events that happen around us. And I'm going to tell you guys, I have my master's, okay? I was the youngest in my cohort to get my master's. I have 2 degrees. Serves me no purpose in the real life. And I say that because you can see the brainwashing happening in school. And I feel like I should go live one day with you guys to really like fully expand upon this. So it's not like a half an hour video, but it's literally made to turn you into a machine. Because at the end of the day, our bodies, our time, our value is dependent on this piece of paper that we go out there and work for, because we're put in this society, right? We weren't asked to be, we were born already into this money game where we are just valued for what work we can give to corporations and to society out there. When I really think that life should just meant to be lived without money. In a perfect society, it would be without money, trading, creating things with our hands, growing natural food, that kind of stuff is what I think the world should be like. Creating a community. And he didn't mention in that too. This was just so profound. So we saw the money game, the problem with the money, and now it's a different perspective of having the money and what those problems bring. And they really do bring some real problems. I am glad I don't have it. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but it's really sad. It really is sad. We live in a world where the 1% and like the higher ups, they control everything. And they have all the money in the world, and yet they continue to slaughter everyone else that's beneath them because we'll never be on their same playing field. They will never view us as equal. They will never even view us as human beings. Always the dollar. Look at pharma. Look at the government. Look at everything, guys. Everything is ruled by money, controlled by money. We trade money for souls. Some people would even trade their soul for money. Okay? It's a real pandemic. This is the real pandemic. We only see the world in the way that we were born into it. Well, I question, I want to say, I'm going to go against that. I don't think that money should be what rules the world. And I can say that all I want, but the sad thing is that is the reality. And I don't know if there's anything that can ever change. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Those people cannot get rich without shelling out everything from our pockets. It's just the way it runs, and it's sad. It's a sad truth, guys. Also, he also mentioned something else. But it is true though. Like a lot of rich people, like people like Jimmy, they do exist, and that's where their life goes. They always say, there's a quote that I love. It came from a show I watched. That happiness is for the poor. And it's true. And I think it's better to be rich in every other way other than monetary items. Because it's true. Like poor people are the happiest because they don't have all these problems that come with money. And, they're content with who they are. And I love that. And I like to say I'm rich in everything else. It may not be money, but I'm rich in everything else in my life. And I'm grateful. He did say something. Okay, so we mentioned the schools, which we know literally made for your mindset to just not use your brain. like 10% of its function to see the world how they want you to see it, right? The idea, you trade your ideas for money. He creates a program like Jimmy and he sold it. And with that money, he then goes on to make nuclear arms deals with Iran. He's in our Congress. That's just what it is. It's a game of trading in for a better value. And ideas have a price on them. Those do have a price tag. We sell our ideas, we sell everything else just for money. And it's really crazy to think that even our ideas have a price tag. Like everything has a price tag on it. So altogether, this has been an amazing series. Thank you, Ren, for giving us so much truth. And it's class. This is class time, guys. This is the kind of class we need to be learning about, right? This is the kind of subjects we should be exploring. But seriously, guys, Ren is one of the very few artists that get you to think about real life problems in a perspective, in a fresh perspective, in a way that's not preaching, in a way that's not telling you what to think and how to think, just presenting you with the PowerPoint presentation of, hey, this is what's going on in the world, and everything he says is factual. What you do with that information is up to the individual, but he paints a pretty good picture. And I love the use of his artistic ability in his music videos. The way that it was silent and I thought I was being too loud. The way that he can use the space around him, like for his music videos, it really is a production. Just goosebumps, the music, the violins, all of that. I loved it. I love that he started out with the rap and then brought it in like the somber music to tell Jimmy's the full circle story. Oh man, it was just beautiful. What a masterpiece. What a masterpiece. I don't know if there's anything else I've missed, but I want to hear from you guys. I've talked long enough. Let me know what you guys thought about this. Which part spoke to you the most? And what did you think about all of this? Give me a breakdown, you know? We really like to analyze on this channel, and he's a lyrical genius. These are the kind of things. It's a true freaking story. And will it ever change? I truly don't know. But like, look back on the idea of money. Why did we let it get to this point? And is there anything we can do about it now? Well, I'm hoping that we wake up the masses and then, let's take it one step at a time. But as I say, for those people like Jimmy out there, right? If you guys have ever watched Bug's Life, and I love this movie for this reason, right? Hopper, the grasshoppers, how many of them were in power? All the grasshoppers in that movie had the power, but there was only a certain amount of them, right? A handful. But there was thousands of ants. And in the end, when the ants came together, they overruled the grasshoppers and made change. It's time for the ants. Maybe we start getting active. We start waking up and start seeing the world for what it is, and stop trading in the truth, and stop trading in every one of our moral beliefs for this money, for this piece of paper. Okay? Maybe it's time we start valuing and the truth over everything else. But it's better to be an ant, in my opinion, than a hopper, because eventually, there's not that many of them. They can't reign forever. Nothing can stay the way it is forever, right? I will leave you all here with that. Thank you guys so much. I know this was a long one. Thank you for bearing with me. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I love every single one of you so much. Where do we go from here with Ren? Let me know some suggestions. All right, y'all. I'll see you all here on the next one.